Look across this landscape. To the untrained eye of a traveler, this is a vast, untamable wilderness, a realm of jagged peaks, impenetrable forests, and a winter so brutal it seems designed to extinguish life itself. But look closer. Beneath the snow, behind the smoke of the longhouses, and within the very structure of the plants themselves lies a secret. This wasn't just a home. It was a massive continental laboratory. For 10,000 years, the indigenous peoples of the Americas were locked in a relentless, high-stakes battle against the elements. They faced a world that could offer a feast one day and a total crushing famine the next. To survive here, they had to do more than just hunt and gather. They had to become the world's first true genetic engineers, master chemists, and landscape architects. They had to rewrite the very blueprint of nature to create an empire of food that would one day change the entire world. As the sun dips behind the frozen mountains, the air turns into a blade of ice. In this environment, the margin for error is zero. Survival is a constant, exhausting calculation of energy spent versus calories gained. We see the hands of a master craftsman, weathered and strong, working in the dim light of the hearth. He is not forging steel, but he is practicing a form of prehistoric metallurgy. He selects a massive bone, the scapula of an elk, and begins the painstaking process of transformation. Every strike of the stone against the bone is deliberate. He is creating the engine of their civilization, the hoe. He lashes the shaped bone to a sturdy branch of seasoned hickory using wet rawhide. As that rawhide dries in the heat of the fire, it performs a miracle of physics. It shrinks, exerting hundreds of pounds of pressure, locking the bone to the wood in a bond as strong as any modern industrial bolt. This tool is the bridge between the human mind and the stubborn earth. It is designed to bite into the frozen soil, to break the hold of the wilderness, and to prepare the ground for a biological miracle. But the soil is often a mystery. In many places, it is tired, drained of its nutrients by the towering pines and the relentless rains. The ancient farmers knew that to take life from the earth, they had to give it back. As the spring thaw begins and the rivers swell with ice melt, we witness the first hack of American agriculture. They didn't just drop a seed into a hole, they engineered a nutrient delivery system. They captured the migrating fish from the cold streams and buried them directly beneath the soil mounds. It sounds simple, but it is a masterstroke of biological engineering. As the fish decomposes, it releases a slow, steady stream of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the holy trinity of plant growth. It creates a localized hot zone of fertility, a biological battery that will power the plant through the hottest months of the summer. They were feeding the earth so the earth could feed them. From this foundation of bone and fish rose a synergy of plants so sophisticated that modern science still struggles to match its efficiency. The Three Sisters. This was the ultimate agricultural machine. First, the corn, the elder sister. Through thousands of years of selective breeding, they transformed a tiny, rock-hard mountain grass called Teosinte into this golden giant. It was a feat of genetic manipulation that required staggering patience. The corn provides the height, reaching toward the sun to act as a living trellis. But corn is a greedy plant. It is a nitrogen sink that leaves the soil barren. To solve this, they planted the bean, the second sister. The bean vines wrap around the corn, tying the stalks together to provide stability against the violent summer windstorms. But her true power is invisible, occurring beneath the surface. In the dark of the soil, the bean roots form a partnership with specialized bacteria that literally pull nitrogen out of the air and lock it into the earth, replenishing the very nutrients the corn consumes. Finally, the squash, the third sister, spreads her massive, broad leaves across the ground. This creates a living carpet of green, a biological armor that shades the soil, trapping every precious drop of moisture and preventing the sun from baking the roots. Her prickly vines act as a natural defense, a barbed wire barrier that deters the deer and the raccoons. Corn, beans, and squash, 3 distinct species working as a single, self-sustaining unit. Together, they provided a perfect balance of proteins, complex carbohydrates, and essential fats. It was a miracle of diet and ecology, born from thousands of years of observation. But the challenge of the Americas was more than just growing the food, it was surviving the chemistry of the food itself. This is where the story takes a dark turn into a mystery of the human body. Corn is a powerhouse of energy, but its most vital nutrient, vitamin B3 or niacin, is chemically locked away by a molecular bond that the human stomach cannot break. A person could have a mountain of corn, eat until their belly is full, and still slowly, painfully starve to death from a disease called pellagra. How did the ancient people solve a problem they couldn't even see under a microscope? They turned to the hearth. They discovered that by soaking the corn in an alkaline solution made from the white wood ash of their fires or from crushed, burnt seashells, they could trigger a chemical revolution. This process, known as nixtamalization, broke the molecular bonds, releasing the niacin and transforming the corn into a complete, life-sustaining protein. It was a piece of chemical engineering so profound that it allowed the massive urban centers of the Mississippians, the Maya, and the Aztecs to rise. It was the difference between a small, struggling tribe and a global superpower. As the golden light of autumn settles over the village, the labor intensifies. The harvest is not just a collection of food, it is a collection of genetic data. We see the women sorting the cobs, choosing the most vibrant colors and the most resilient grains to be the seeds for the next year. This was a massive continental genetic insurance policy. By maintaining thousands of different varieties, corn that could grow in the desert, corn that could survive the frost, beans that thrived in the humidity, they ensured that no matter what catastrophe the gods threw at them, the village would not go hungry. They were managing risk on a scale that modern corporations would envy. The grain is gathered, but now it must be protected from the silent killers, moisture and pests. In the heart of the village, we see the engineering of the granaries. Thousands of colorful cobs are braided together by their husks and hung from the high rafters of the longhouses. Here, the constant smoke from the central fires acts as a natural preservative, a chemical shield that keeps insects and mold at bay. But they went even deeper. They engineered underground silos, massive bell-shaped chambers lined with birch bark and parched grass. These pits functioned as natural refrigerators, maintaining a constant, cool temperature and an oxygen-depleted environment that could keep grain fresh for years. This was their strategic reserve, the buffer between prosperity and extinction. Inside the longhouse, the atmosphere is one of hard-won security. The air is thick with the scent of parched grain and wood smoke. We see the women grinding the nixtamalized corn on heavy stone matats, the rhythmic sound of stone on stone echoing the heartbeat of the village. They reduce the grain to a fine, versatile flour, kneading it with water into a dough that will be shaped into flatbreads. These cakes are baked on hot stones over the open flame, producing a food that is as delicious as it is nutritious. This is the culmination of a 10,000-year journey, from a wild mountain grass to a gourmet superfood that would one day conquer the world. As the community gathers around the fire, they are not just sharing a meal, they are participating in a masterpiece of human cooperation and ancestral wisdom. This success allowed for more than just physical survival. It gave birth to the soul of a civilization. Because they had engineered a way to store sunlight in the form of grain, they had the time to become astronomers, artists, and philosophers. They developed a worldview that was as sophisticated as their agriculture, the law of the 7 generations. This was the profound understanding that they were not the owners of the land, but its temporary guardians. Every tree they cut, every seed they planted, and every fire they lit was measured by its impact on the children who would be born 200 years in the future. They farmed for a world they would never see, ensuring that the soil remained dark and rich, that the water remained clean, and that the cycle of life remained unbroken. As night falls and the snow begins to drift against the walls of the village, the fires continue to burn bright. Outside, the world is a cold, dark void, but inside, there is warmth, laughter, and plenty. The granaries are overflowing, the chemistry of the hearth is mastered, and the legacy of the three sisters is secure. This is the enduring triumph of the Native American engineers. They proved that through observation, ingenuity, and a deep, abiding respect for the natural world, humanity can thrive in the most challenging environments on Earth. Their science wasn't written in books, but in the soil, the seeds, and the very DNA of the crops that now provide more than 60% of the world's food supply. From the high mesas to the river valleys, the harvest continues. A timeless cycle, a blueprint for survival.